Are live right now, coming at you on Wednesday night, Wednesday night, October 7th, actually. My calendar, I need to update it on the computer. What's up, though? It's the one and only the Black Avenger, aka the Black Azrael Lee Sanders, coming at you this Wednesday night of October 7th, 2015. We are coming on this special Wednesday night for very good reason. I told you guys, our longtime RCWR Show listeners, whether or not we were going to be doing this. I told you I was going to be playing it by ear. I liked what I had saw, and I decided I just had to come on here and talk about it with you all. Of course, I'm talking about WWE NXT Takeover. Respect. It just went off the air a few seconds ago on the WWE Network. Wow, good God almighty, what a solid, fantastic card that was, from like top to bottom. Those of you that had checked out the NXT event, I definitely want to hear from you for the next little bit that we're going to be live on the air. So hit me up, Twitter at the RCWR Show, or on our Facebook page, Infinity One Productions. That's with an E, spell out one, Infinity One Productions. We're simulcasting live right now for the next little bit on Mixler.com. We have a chat room that's open and active on there, so pop on in there. Feel free to say hello. We're also live on YouTube, so those of you that's checking out the live web stream of this right now, hello. And of course, everybody that's going to be checking out the recordings after the fact, definitely appreciate the love and support as always. But man, without any further ado, let's go ahead. Let's jump right into it, because I'm freaking excited to talk about this event. You know, from just the production standpoint, I got to give WWE a lot of props, man. I mean, the lighting, the stage set that they had used for tonight's takeover event, I mean, that thing was just top notch. It's just amazing to like just think back to where NXT was just a couple of years ago, and to just see where it is, the evolution as far as the production value goes and everything. Top notch stage set and ramp area that I saw tonight. I really had enjoyed it. I don't know about you guys. I don't know if the stage, the lighting and all that had really kind of jumped out at you, but mainly the stage. But I thought it was really badass how they had it set up. Normally, I talk about the pre-show. I unfortunately did not check out the pre-show because I was actually having problems streaming the WWE Network on my Xbox console. And I don't know how many of you guys might have experienced the same issue. There was a couple of you guys that were experiencing the issue for a couple of days. And I actually had just did a little bit of digging around on Twitter. Very useful information for you guys. So bear with me, indulge me as I pass along this information. But for those of you that have the Xbox system, you can clear up any discrepancies you might have in loading the WWE Network. That is, if you keep seeing and getting an error message, easy way to go about cleaning that up. Basically, you go back to the Xbox dashboard, hit the guide button, right? That center button. And then from there, make sure you go over to system settings. And then you want to go over to, I think it's memory, and then press Y for the storage device. And then there's an option where you can clear cache. Now, don't worry, that's not going to wipe out your entire hard drive. It's not going to delete your game saves, everything that you've purchased over the years. Is just going to clear the cache so that you can basically start from scratch. Now, once you clear cache, if you have the option, restart your Xbox console. If not, then you're going to need to power off your Xbox completely, wait about 30 seconds, turn it back on, go load up the WWE Network. Problem is solved. I did this all myself, worked out just fine. So take comfort knowing that once you do that, you're okay. All right. Just thought I'd pass that along because I noticed that there was a lot of people tonight that could not access the WWE Network for their Xbox game console. But I didn't see the pre-show as a result of what was going on with the network trying to stream it on the Xbox, but I did catch the entire NXT TakeOver card. Finn Balor, Samoa Joe taking on the Mechanics, Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Tournament semifinal. I thought that was a fantastic way to open up the NXT TakeOver event. I loved it. I
am definitely one to admit it's been a couple of weeks since I've checked out the NXT product, and I was just really taken back by what was going on with Finn Balor. Apparently, I need to get caught up to speed, so I'm definitely throwing it out to you, the listeners. I need to get caught up to speed, as well as any and everybody else that maybe missed out on a few weeks of NXT. But what's going on with Finn Balor coming out, and he's got this whole Bullet Club inspired theme that's going on. I was seeing one tweet from one of our followers that said, "Nah, that was just a one-time deal only." Can you guys confirm this? I mean, has he been doing the whole Balor Club thing for a minute now? Because when he came out, I was expecting him to have his makeup on, all that jazz. But I liked what I saw of him. I mean, I will say this: each time I see Finn Balor, it just seems like he's not, but in my eyes, it kind of comes off that way. It seems like he's getting a little bit more bulk. He gets more handsome each time I see him. I'm willing to give a guy his props if he looks handsome. But as far as his in-ring ability goes, it seems like each time I see him, especially if I haven't seen the NXT product in a couple of weeks, when I see Finn Balor again, he just seems more and more fluid in that ring, man. I mean, watching him in that match against the Mechanics, man, I was mesmerized, man. I was just like, wow. And the fact that he was with Samoa Joe looking good, looked like he slimmed down just a little bit, just a little bit. We actually saw Finn Balor, Samoa Joe. They had advanced in that respective semifinal. From there, our next Dusty Rhodes semifinal tag match came about as we saw the team of Baron Corbin and Rhino defeat the team of Jason Jordan and Chad Gable. I was a little bit stunned by the chance that we were getting for poor Baron Corbin. We were actually kind of getting it inspired, so to speak, off New Day. New Day sucks. Well, we were getting Ben sucks. Ben sucks. And it's like, wow. I mean, that's the thing with the NXT crowd, man. I'm sure many of you guys know this by now, or if you haven't been checking out the NXT product, and it never amazes me how the crowd reactions are for these NXT events. It's basically expect the unexpected. And if they don't like you, trust me, you're gonna hear about it. And I just think it's so like hilarious and just so puzzling how at one point, couple of months back, the fans seem to really be in favor of Baron Corbin, and like now it's gotten to a point where he like absolutely sucks. And I'm just wondering, again, I'm throwing this back out to you guys, especially the long time NXT fans that's been watching the product. Why do you think there's been such a change in Baron Corbin? What is it that some of us that maybe aren't watching it religiously are missing? What has gotten us to this point now where you have a good decent amount of fans that are not liking Baron Corbin? I mean, to me, he's got a great, phenomenal look. As far as his repertoire in the ring, it's not really. I mean, what can I say? It's not anything spectacular. It's not anything amazing. And I'm not in no type of way taking shots at Baron Corbin. So please don't interpret it that way. But it's not like anything you can walk away and be like, man, that Baron Corbin, that's one hell of an arm drag, man. It's nothing like that, but he does enough to put on a solid match. I think, like, out of a 5-star, I think he does enough to maybe do like a 2.5, 3-star out of 5-star type of match, but nothing higher than that. But like, why have we gotten to this point now where he's basically being booed out of the ring? That's all I want to know. But most importantly, can WWE capitalize off of that? That's the main important thing. Little bit of concern for the team of Finn Balor and Samoa Joe, because in the final moments of the match, we saw Finn Balor. He tried to go for that top finishing move that he likes to do, that stomp that he likes to do from the top rope. And when he landed, it looked like he landed the wrong way. His ankle was a little bit messed up. Samoa Joe was checking on him, trying to see if he was okay and everything. And this came after Samoa Joe was just basically cleaning house. Finn Balor tagged himself in, and he was like, I want the tag, and he wanted to finish the match and everything. And when Finn Balor landed wrong on his leg, I think it was his left leg, Samoa Joe was definitely concerned, but Balor was like, it's okay. I got this. You just ward off the other person. I got this. And I was surprised that they had advanced, because once I saw Finn Balor do the move off the top rope and I saw him land funny, I'm thinking, okay, that's it. The other guys, they're gonna take advantage of this. It's over and done with. But no, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, they picked up the win. They advanced. As far as your winners for the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Tournament finals, as we had told you, the team of Finn Balor, Samoa Joe advanced to take on the team of Baron Corbin and Rhino. Your winners, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, they won it. And a great moment. I was very curious what was going to be coming about, because I put the seed in you all's head about almost 2 weeks ago, as far as the news that Dusty Rhodes and Cody Rhodes, they were going to be there at the Dusty Rhodes Classic. They were going to be presenting the trophy to the winners. I thought it was a pretty awesome trophy, by the way. But the $1 million question, okay, is Cody Rhodes going to speak, or is Dusty Rhodes going to speak? And it was a great, awesome moment that had went down post-match, as we saw basically the entire Rhodes family. They came out. Eden, Cody Rhodes' wife, was in the ring. And we saw Cody. He took a microphone and he kept it short and brief and everything. Nice, kind words that he had said. And it was just one of those moments where you were kind of like, man, it's nice to see Cody Rhodes finally get away from the Stardust character just for one night only. But of course, I'm sure there's probably a lot of you guys that may be wondering, well, is WWE on Raw and SmackDown? Are they going to acknowledge that particular segment, or are they going to pretend like it never happened? Your guess is as best as mine. You got me. You got me. I just kept sitting on my hands thinking that some type of a weird bipolar moment was going to happen for Cody Rhodes in there, just storyline wise, but it didn't go that route. And I was actually quite pleased that it did not go that route, because honestly, I think Cody Rhodes is better than the face paint and all that other stuff, all that other jazz that's going on. But it was a really great, awesome moment to see the Rhodes family. They're celebrating the conclusion of the Dusty Rhodes Classic with Finn Balor and Samoa Joe. A lot of people were expecting maybe some type of a swerve to go down between Finn and Samoa Joe. Some people thought maybe Samoa was going to turn on Balor when the timing was right. Basically, a lot of people were under the impression that Balor and Joe were not going to win this. And I'm just a little bit curious as the days progress if maybe we're going to hear a little something as far as the original finish, as far as who was going to win this originally, and that Balor and Samoa Joe ended up getting the nod to win because so many people were vocal on social media saying they were probably going to lose it because they're going to turn on one another. You know how WWE is sometimes. Sometimes they pay attention to those betting websites and all those other everybody. They listen to everybody on social media. They make you think they're not listening, but they are paying attention to what's being said. And you can't help but wonder if maybe this was one of their ways of throwing a swerve ball. But then again, maybe they always were in support of Finn Balor and Samoa Joe. I think time will only tell. Of course, we saw the beautiful and the lovely Kana, who I was under the impression her name was Asuka, but apparently the U is silent. As her name is actually pronounced, and I gotta make sure. I gotta actually look at the name and make sure I'm pronouncing it right. If I butcher this, let me know, folks. Akuza. I'm assuming I got that right. Akuza. It's not Asuka. I'm just gonna keep saying Asuka because the way it's spelled is Asuka. Your guess is as good as mine, guys, but I'm just going to call her Kana just to be on the safe side because I'm more familiar with that name than I am with this new name. I've been watching her off and on the past few years. She made her NXT TakeOver debut. Damn good matchup against Dana Brooke. eagerly was anticipating seeing this match. And boy, I tell you, kind of just fits right in there in the WWE realm that is known as NXT. The unique offense, doesn't really seem like she scaled back too much from what we've seen of her in the independent circuits. And honestly, I think that's exactly how it needs to be. True fans know what she is really capable of. So to see her hold back in such a way that it's like, wait a minute, I know there's a lot more in her repertoire than just this little bit that we're seeing in WWE. Come on now, give us some more. I'm glad that they had her go off on like the right note. And I think she got one of like the best reactions from the crowd. Definitely one of the most eagerly anticipated takeover debuts. Crowd support definitely in her favor. The wrestling fans there in attendance, very smart bunch of wrestling fans, knew who this woman was. I gotta say, as far as just from a in-ring debut standpoint on the stage of a takeover, I just thought she did phenomenally well. One of the best debuts for a female wrestler I've seen in the WWE in quite a long time. I think one of the last times I was this excited to see somebody make their debut, in-ring debut, at a major event, and they are off to a good start, just female wise. I don't know. I think I might have to go back as far as possibly. It's a toss up. It's a toss up. Possibly, maybe for me personally, just me personally, maybe Jazz, the baddest bitch. Might be Jazz and possibly Victoria. It's a toss up between those two, but great debut. She defeated Dana Brooke via submission. Dana Brooke is coming along very, very well. I mean, my God, sometimes because I get so caught up checking out wrestling footages from other promotions, I usually have NXT on the back burner, and sometimes every couple of weeks I'll do like a binge to get caught up to speed. I haven't done my binge yet. So like for me, when I take several weeks from not watching the NXT product and I see where like certain stars are that like pique my interest, it's just always freaking amazing to see just how much further along they've gotten. And Dana Brooke is a prime example of that. To just see the evolution of her from wearing her little sparkly uh wait a minute. Yeah, I'm thinking about her, right? Yeah, to see the evolution that she's taken going all the way up to now. My only one complaint, the outfit, the color scheme. We've got to revamp that because every single time I'm looking at her attire, I swear I'm looking at Natty. I need to see the ring attire get switched up. Seriously, man. It's got to get switched up. One of my favorite newcomers to NXT and just overall in the WWE, Apollo Crews. I said it on the last Takeover special, and I'm going to continue to endorse this man. If this young man keeps his nose clean, he stays out of trouble, he hangs out with the right people, minds his manners, this guy could go all the way as far as being a future WWE champion. And, we're talking NXT Takeover. There was an interesting conference call, if you will, or social media Q&A that Triple H did earlier today. And one of the questions that was thrown at him was, well, do you think we'll ever finally get to that point where there will be a African American WWE champion? And Triple H said something along the lines of, it's weird that this keeps popping up. I guess everybody forgot about Booker T and Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I just don't understand that rhetoric, and the way Triple H kind of made it seem, like he was laughing it off or whatever. I'm not sure if this was said on social media or if this was said during a conference call. I'm banking more on it was said during a conference call. And as I was seeing that, I just couldn't help but say, okay, the person that asked that question, why didn't they follow up and be like, well, with all due respect, Triple H, I think the majority of wrestling fans that's been vocal about this, they will give Dwayne The Rock Johnson credit. He is part African American. Even Dwayne Johnson himself has said that he is part African American, but he's also Samoan. And then when you go to Booker T, Booker T, he's only held the world heavyweight title. Now, no disrespect to the world heavyweight title, a lot of great men have held that. Sting, Harley Race, Ric Flair, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. I mean, I'd be here all night naming names, A lot of great men have held that belt. But that's that belt. We're talking about the company belt. And I don't want to go off on like a completely different direction because we're talking NXT Takeover. But like, I really wish during that conference call, somebody would have really clarified exactly, hey, look, Triple H, just so you kind of understand why this topic keeps popping up. Now, how does this tie into Apollo Crews? Some of you guys may be saying. Everything always makes sense when we're talking about it, right? Just stay with me. Apollo Crews' name was brought up, and basically Triple H was asked, what's his impressions of Apollo Crews, and if basically he can go all the way, if he can eventually become a WWE champion. And Triple H pretty much endorsed Apollo Crews. So I mean, if you have not seen this young man in action yet, you're missing out. One of the best damn highlights in NXT, no doubt about it. And the match that he had against Tyler Breeze, I said this on social media and it had got a couple of retweets and favorites. My tweet was basically to sum up this match against Crews and Breeze. It was one of the most well-sounded, well-executed, technical matches that had great storytelling to it. Especially at the part where Apollo Crews' back gets screwed up and Tyler Breeze just like kept capitalizing on it. And then you're used to the aerial tactics of Crews, and like every time he was trying to go for some type of aerial maneuver, he was favoring that back, and Tyler Breeze was just able to continue to capitalize on it. I mean, just a great back and forth story that was being told for that particular match. Out of the entire card of all the 6 matches that we got tonight, I definitely, other than Kana taking on Dana Brooke, I definitely got to give a big props and shout outs to Apollo Crews, Tyler Breeze. I mean, all the men and women tonight did phenomenally well, but if I were to single out one particular match, I definitely got to single out Crews taking on Tyler Breeze. Tyler Breeze, man, all the work that this guy just continues to put in, night out, week in, week out. I'm definitely a believer. I hope that good things are coming for this young man. If there's anybody that I'm looking at from the NXT brand that deserves a shot at moving up the main roster, I'm definitely looking at a guy like Tyler Breeze. There's just that 1-2 little ingredients that Tyler Breeze is missing to make that journey to the main roster complete. I'm not really sure what it is, but you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. You can't quite name it, but you know something there is missing. And once he strings it all together, he's definitely going to be a damn good force to reckon with. Of course, we got our main event match. It's amazing how fast we're going to. Now, remember, guys, and I haven't missed anything. We had 6 matches. We already told you about the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Tournament matches. We told you about the finals. We told you about Kana taking on Dana Brooke. We just told you about Apollo Crews taking on Tyler Breeze. We're now down one more match, and it's basically the match that a lot of people, including myself, very excited for when it came to this NXT Takeover event. Of course, I'm talking about Bayley taking on Sasha Banks for the WWE NXT Women's Championship in a 30-minute Ironman match. First time that we've gotten something like this with 2 females in the history of the WWE. And for those of you that might be a little bit curious, WWE does Ironman matches all the time at house shows and all that. But like other than tonight's Ironman match, it's amazing how much time flies. Fun fact for you, based on the research that I did so far, As far as Ironman match history, last time we had got a Ironman match, get this, it was John Cena taking on Randy Orton in a 1 hour Ironman match for the WWE Championship at 2009's Bragging Rights in PA. That was the last time we got an Ironman match. I know some of you guys hear that, you're probably like, nah, Lee, that can't be right. I could have sworn something happened after that. Maybe. Was it for the title is the question. Was it for a title? I think that's the main $1 million question. If you're just counting off of for a title, then I think you got to go as far back as 2009. I don't know. I think this might have been, other than tonight, 2009 may have been the last time we had got an Iron Man match. But Bailey, Sasha Banks, let me tell you something, man. And I got to be for real for a minute. First off, I gotta mention a joke. The little girl, I don't know if that's Bailey's cousin, uh, or niece or what, man. But that little girl, she needs to be at all WWE events. That little girl was selling like I don't know what. We had like this insane couple of spots during the match where Sasha was just beating the holy hell out of Bailey. And it just got so brutal that you like zoom in on this poor little girl, and she's actually crying, and you have her dad or whatever, he's holding her, and she's just crying and sobbing, and she just kind of has this look on her face. She was genuinely crying, guys, and she just has this look on her face like, you cute Bailey, and it was just so freaking awesome. I couldn't help but like laugh my ass off. And I was watching it with my girl, and she's like, "You're so mean." And I told her, I said, "No, no, 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 no." I said, "I love it. This is exactly what we need. Like, we need more little kids like this that are so innocent at this age, and they're seeing all this stuff that's happening, and they're like, oh my God, to them, it's real." And I love that. Honestly, let them find out as they get older. Oh, well, this is a work. This is a job. This is this. Let them learn about the behind the scenes stuff and all that on their own when they get older. But man, when they're at that age like this young girl is, it's just so freaking awesome, because everything to them just seems so real, and they're just giving into their raw emotions, and I just think it's awesome. I was just looking at this little kid, and I'm like, my gosh, she's really into this. I'm like, that's what's up, And I was saying this to my girl. I say, Bailey is like the female, if they do this right, I mean, she's already there, but if they amplify it even more, she's like the female version of John Cena and Bret Hart. All right. And I'm telling you, man, WWE, they have got their female Bret Hart, John Cena waiting in the wings. My God, can you just imagine all the make-a-wishes they would be able to make off of Bailey, or oh my God. I mean, it's endless. The great PR work that they would be able to build around Bailey. I'm just being for real. Some of you guys might not like that. You might be like, nah, man, why we got to do that with Bailey? She's perfect for it. She's so freaking likable. It's like, how can you hate Bailey? And I'm telling you, man, this match, women's wrestling was represented to its fullest. And I just can't help but just say to Sasha Banks and Bailey, very, very proud of you. Thank you so much for going out there tonight and just tearing the roof off the building. You girls represented. I got to take it a step further. I said this on my podcast earlier in the week. You got girls like Sasha Banks, Charlotte, Becky Lynch, Paige. These girls will work Raw, SmackDown, main event if needed. They work the pay-per-views. They even go back, do something for NXT. Meanwhile, you have certain women on the main roster, like the Bellas. They basically do Raw, maybe SmackDown, do a pay-per-view here and there, never do anything for NXT. Now you all just marinate on that and you come to your own conclusion as far as what I just gave you. But you look at these NXT women that I just named, your Charlottes, your Paiges, your Becky Lynch's, your Sasha Banks, and you just see how these girls are just able to go in there night in, night out, and basically tear it up. Man, I keep hearing the future is now, the Divas Revolution is now, and all that, but like, it ain't really a Divas Revolution as far as I'm concerned, unless these NXT women are basically replacing every single diva that's on the main roster. Only then is it really going to be some type of a true revolution. And when that revolution does come, I strongly am a firm believer that we need to get rid of that term diva, and we just need to bring back women's division. I thought it was so interesting. There was a little clip somebody made, like a GIF image of, that had showed Lita during the pre-show, and she was giving her thoughts on what all was going to be coming about at the NXT Takeover event. And like when they showed her lower third, it said 4-time Divas champion, first ever Divas champion or whatever to open up Raw or something like that. And you're kind of like, wait a minute. Nah, man, she wasn't a Divas champion. She was a women's champion. What the hell? And you're like, so we've like now gotten to that point where it's too taboo to say women's champion. I tell you what, the NXT crowd tonight, they had no problem saying women's wrestling. I mean, those chants were freaking unanimous. They were loud as hell during Sasha Banks taking on Bayley. I just couldn't help but say, my God, Vince McMahon is probably going to be like, God damn it, how are we gonna edit this one, Hunter? I could just imagine him freaking the hell out over it, but I mean, now more than ever, I think we're really getting to that point right now where we can definitely do something with this whole terminology of diva and like bring back women's wrestling. But I mean, my God, what a great Ironman match. You know what? For all aspiring women, the cheerleaders, the pom-pom girls, the valets, the Hooters waitresses, all these girls that like never, ever did anything remotely wrestling related before, that decide one day, just out the clear blue, they want to be a wrestler. I think they need to sit down and they need to watch this match between Bayley and Sasha Banks, and they need to focus on this particular match. They need to like make this match be like their Bible. All right. As far as what to do, as far as once you're in the WWE, they need to use this match as their blueprint, study it over and over and over again, and try to aspire to live up to those standards. You know what I'm saying? And that's the truth. That is the God's to honest truth. If I were to just look at women's matches, and I'm just thinking off the top of my head that I've seen this year from various promotions, man, if I could not make what Bayley and Sasha Banks did tonight be my number one, I would damn sure make it be my number two. In the end, and it was a great back and forth. I mean, it was tied up at one point. It was really looking as though maybe Sasha was, going to be getting away with the title, but Bayley was making the comeback and all that. I mean, it was great back and forth story, man. Great storytelling that they did with that one. At the end, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was 3-2 in Bayley's favor, and just the finish was freaking epic. I loved it. Basically, we saw like a nice series of reversals. Sasha Banks hitting Bayley with the bank statement, and you're like, oh man, she's got it. But like, and I don't know if Sasha Banks has been switching up on the bank statement in NXT at least for a while now, but like one of the last times I saw her do the bank statement, I mean, she had her hands around the damn neck, and you're like, ooh, taboo, because you couldn't help but think about the crossface, and we know how taboo that is. But tonight, when we saw her do the bank statement, it was kind of like, somebody must have talked to her because it's not around the neck. Certain angles, it kind of looked like it was, but that's not the point. Great reversals, man. I mean, we see Banks with the bank statement. Then we see Bailey. She tries to give Sasha a taste of her own medicine with her own version of the bank statement. Then it just goes back to Sasha, and then Bailey ends up doing her own unique submission hold. And like Sasha, all she had to do was just hang in there for like, I think like 10 more seconds. And it basically would have ended in a draw. And who knows, maybe it would have came down to sudden death. But like in the last 5 seconds, maybe 4 seconds, Sasha tapped out. So Bailey was able to win that way. And you're like, oh, it was a great nail biter of a match. Definitely my second favorite out of the whole entire NXT TakeOver card for the night. Bailey, still your NXT Women's Champion. Great emotional moment post match as we saw the entire NXT locker room come out. Stephanie McMahon was there as well. Lita was there. Triple H had these nice, pretty, expensive flowers, from what I understand. They'll run you a couple of $100. So I hear. All right. But maybe if you know the right people, maybe you can get it for 30. Who knows? But not the point. Triple H, he comes out, nice bouquet of roses and all that, or flowers. He tries to give it to Sasha. Sasha, exhausted. She's emotional. She's just all caught up in the moment. She realizes, man, I just made history right here with like my best friend, Bailey. I mean, she was just sobbing. She just dropped to her knees. I mean, she was just so emotionally drained. Eventually she was able to come to and everything. Triple H then would go in the ring, present a bouquet of flowers to Bailey, gave her a nice hug, raise her arm up high and everything. And I tell you, man, those two girls, they did women's wrestling very proud, very proud. And I actually know a decent amount of females that wrestle on the independent circuit, and I know a lot of them pay very close attention to the WWE product, and I'm sure eventually when they get wind of what had came about with this particular match, I'm sure they're going to go out of their way to check it out. And I don't know. I hope for some of them it maybe reignites their passion a little bit more to, try to get into the WWE. Just because you get into the WWE, it doesn't mean you got to try to aim for Raw or SmackDown. Honestly, if you can get in on NXT, which is like the hottest thing going on right now, that's even better. That's freaking heaven. I think at any point, all independent contractors that's eyeballing the WWE at this point need to just be like, how can I get in on NXT? I know my stock will definitely go up if I'm involved in NXT. I've lost all faith. I've lost all confidence in the main brands, that is Raw and SmackDown right now. I don't want to go off too far in this direction because I talked about it candidly on the podcast this week, but Raw has just become so unbearable. SmackDown has almost become unbearable to watch. It's anytime you got the NXT crowd saying better than Raw with the Bailey Sasha Banks match, that says a lot. That lets you know that there are a majority of wrestling fans that are definitely frustrated with what they're getting on the Monday nights and the Thursday nights and the in between, unless it's NXT. And then when it comes to the main pay-per-views by WWE, once again, the streak continues with NXT. When they do these takeover events, you're like, well, what did WWE do over the week? Well, they did this thing on the network, some MSG or Tokyo event. And how was that? Man, it was okay. Talk about NXT TakeOver. Home run. Freaking home run. You got the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view event coming up in about less than, 3 weeks? Should be interesting to see what those guys are going to be capable of doing. But that's my thoughts with regards to that. In case you're joining us, quick recap for your NXT TakeOver Respect. Our new Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Tournament Champions, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, Kana defeated Dana Brooke. Apollo Crews defeated Tyler Breeze. And in your 30-minute Ironman match for the NXT Championship, Bayley went over Sasha Banks. Scale of 1 to 10, I'd have to give it a respected 8 out of 10. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I think it's an 8 out of 10 because I wanted more. I wanted more action. If I could have got maybe 2 more matches, just 2 more, I would have been really happy, but it's nice having that whole, I want more, give me just enough. Now I want more, I like that. But definitely the standout matches, kind of taking on Dana Brooke, Apollo Crews, Tyler Breeze, Bayley, Sasha Banks. I mean, hands down, that match alone, that's got to be a match of the year candidate. Let's get to you guys' interactions. If there is any, definitely want to show you guys some love. If I don't see your comments right now, don't take it personal. Sometimes there is like a time delay in seeing you all's reactions in real time. I usually don't see like a big bulk until after the live stream is over. So, but I got you guys on the rebound in case I don't get to you all's comments. All right, see what we got going on right here. Redneck Video Gamer, Andre, shout out to you guys. Thanks for checking out the stream. Austie, thanks for checking out the stream as well. All right, so Redneck Video Gamer. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. That's how I remember it too, Redneck Gamer. Redneck Gamer is saying it was 2-2, like within the last 5 seconds before Bayley made Sasha tap. That's exactly how I remember it as well. And yeah, Bayley does have true star power. Yeah, I definitely agree. The fans want to get behind her. It was a great match and a very good show, no doubt. Andre, bring back the WWE Women's Championship. Enough of the Divas Championship belt. Instead of Divas Revolution, let it be the Women's Revolution. Yeah. We must be on that same wavelength tonight. Andre says, you must be in my head. I've been saying that Bayley is the female version of John Cena. I don't think she could turn heel. Her character would not allow. But she is incredible in the ring. What an unbelievable match. Thank you, Bayley and Sasha Banks. Sasha's time in NXT is up. What a way to go out. Let's see. Did you notice the fans were chanting Gable of the team Jordan and Gable to the theme of Kurt Angle's WWE theme? That was funny. No, I didn't notice that. I didn't notice that. Let's see what else we got. Booking Apollo Crews. Yeah, he's got the physique of Bobby Lashley. Yeah, and he's as agile as Dolph Ziggler. Yeah, I also look at him like a combination of Shelton Benjamin meets Bobby Lashley meets like Rey Mysterio. He's got like all those combinations. I mean, he just does like the weirdest, craziest crap. You're like, how's this guy able to do this? Like, what the hell is he eating? He's not eating Wheaties. It's like, what's got so much? What's giving him so much spring, and his stepping? I need to know. Curious minds want to know, man. Let's take to Twitter. I see a couple of notifications coming in. Let's see what we got going on right here. Yeah, hashtag better than Raw. Prince GMO, he says, thank you for the review. What do you think Nikki Bella's face looks like right now after that match? Sasha killing job security. I think so. I mean, there is no denying after what Sasha Banks did tonight, WWE, they haven't really been listening to the fan base support when it comes to Sasha Banks and look, it's a 1-2 punch. I mean, on the one hand, they aren't really listening to the fan base. Instead, it's kind of like, yeah, we know you like this person, but we want you to root for this person instead. And the fans are kind of like, no. This is who we want. Sasha, she's been banged up a little bit. I know she's been taking time off here and there, try to rest up a little bit. And I know part of the time, otherwise, she's just in the back like, okay, I'm hanging out here tonight. All right, no problem. I mean, that's all fine and dandy. But like, I think after tonight, boys and girls, yeah, for sure, WWE needs to be like, Sasha, we need to like put a freaking rocket on her back, and we need to ride this girl on out. It's crazy when you think about it, because like Charlotte has it. And I was saying this to my girl. I said, unfortunately, and God rest his soul. God rest his soul. I don't mean to speak bad about a person that's no longer living. I mean well, my heart is in the right place. So hopefully you all understand where I'm coming from and you will agree. But Reed Flair, while he was on this earth, his in-ring ability, it was so-so. It was okay, but it wasn't. You either have the gift for the craft or you don't, and like with Charlotte being able to pick it up so fast in just the short amount of time that she entered the business. What did Ric Flair say during the WWE 24/7 Brooklyn NXT Brooklyn documentary? He was like, she's only been at it for 3 years, and like, look where she is now. I mean, that says a lot. That says she has the gift. You can definitely see it when you watch any match. She has the gift of the craft, and every time I see her, she reminds me so much of Ric Flair. And I can understand WWE wanting to get behind that, because it's like, hey, here's something that we can get behind that has a nice, great connection to a WWE Hall of Famer, a legendary wrestler that has seen and been through it all. It's just there on a silver platter with a nice little ribbon on it. They can just take that ribbon off and they can just run with it. But unfortunately, the WWE crowd isn't really connecting with Charlotte like that. And I'm a huge fan of Charlotte, but I mean, sometimes you got to look at situations like that and you got to be like, okay, let's have a reevaluation. What can we do with Charlotte going forward? Is there anything we can kind of do to kind of, get the type of reaction, the buzz that we need for her? I think eventually what's probably going to have to happen, hopefully pretty soon they break up this whole West Side Story crap that's going on with the Divas, Team Bad, Team Bellas, Team PCB, which sounds like a damn drug. Hopefully they break up the whole West Side Story thing and let these girls just go at it individually. Let us see fresh matchups every single week and all that. But I think eventually, maybe sooner rather than later, maybe we need to see some type of a program go down with Charlotte and Sasha Banks. We all are very familiar with what those two girls did in NXT. I think now more than ever, to just be on the safe side on main WWE programming, you need these NXT girls kind of switching it up, fighting each other, taking each other on to make some pretty damn good, memorable matches. But I tell you, after the reaction that Sasha Banks got, I'm sure a lot of people are definitely going to be scratching their heads going, why isn't this girl the Divas champion right now? What the hell? So I don't know, guys. I don't know. Things that make you go, on that one. I think we're going to go ahead and call it a night. I mean, it's a little bit after 11. We did good. We covered all the bases. Hopefully we did the NXT Takeover justice in this reaction edition of the RCWR show. I definitely want to hear from you guys that end up checking out the recording of this after the fact. Post your comments down below. Hit me up on Twitter at the RCWR Show, Facebook, Infinity One Productions. At this point, next time we'll be coming on live for you guys. It's going to be our live radio edition of the RCWR Show. You'll be able to catch that next Tuesday night, October 13th, 10 p.m. Eastern, exclusively on Spreaker.com. I want to take this time out to thank those of you that checked out the webcast edition of the RCWR Show on YouTube. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also give this episode a like, share it all throughout social media. You guys that's listening on Mixlr, definitely appreciate the love and support. If you have not subscribed already, make sure you do, so you never miss out on great exclusive, fun, and original content that we do for you on a weekly, regular basis. Yeah, that's pretty much going to do it. Until next go around, I'm wishing all of you all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. Can't stress it enough. If you did not see NXT Takeover tonight and you have access to the WWE Network, go check it out. Sasha Banks, Bayley, hands down, best damn match of the year. You got to check it out. Don't take my word for it. Check it out and let me know what you think about it. All right, guys. Adios.